Sherman here at Barrington Real Estate. Today I'm here with Priya, the owner of Sari Knot Sari. Hey there, Priya.
Hi, that's my store.
Thanks for being here with us. Sari Knot Sari has ethical gifts, excellent saris, and a number of great items here. And we're going to learn a little bit about Priya and a little bit about the business as well. So away we go.
Okay.
Hey there, Priya.
Hi.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for reaching out to the community this way and sharing our stories.
Yeah, we definitely love local. So we do want to ask the first question, which is, let me know about what inspired you to start this business and what was it like when you guys first started?
That's a really good question. So I actually never in a million years thought that I would be designing clothes. It wasn't something that was part of my career planning. I've always liked fabrics, and I'm a bit of a fabric snob. I think that might run in our family, where we kind of go up to people and go, and in our head we're thinking polyester, nice silk. So I guess that ended up getting carried along with me. I had opened up a store with Mary Luciani and her family across the street at the Pale Blue Dot. And
Hello, Mary. Hi.
Hello, Mary. And it was all about sustainability. It was an evolution of a store that I had owned prior to that, called Greystone Fine Furniture in Burlington. And we kind of developed the idea of helping give people choices that were more sustainable. And so that was kind of the premise behind the Pale Blue Dot, and that's kind of how Sari Knot Sari started.
Okay.
Because we were talking about wrapping paper and about using wrapping paper for fabric, and that was kind of in my head. Sorry, using fabric for wrapping paper, and that was kind of in my head. And I took a family trip to India with my kids. It was the first time my kids had gone.
Nice.
And it was a very busy trip, so I didn't have a lot of time for shopping.
And how long were you guys there for?
2 weeks, so not very long at all. And we traveled all of India in that 2 weeks.
Oh,
and when I wanted to stop and go sari shopping, and I think this is kind of critical to how this brand evolved, my daughter said to me, "You're never going to wear a sari." And they were right. You know, in this Canadian lifestyle, I could. Like, there's no reason culturally why I couldn't.
Yeah.
Except I'm moving. I'm like doing things. I'm walking the dog. I'm going to Fortino's. I'm a teacher. I'd be in a classroom. And I just didn't feel like I had the grace and the habit of wearing a sari in a way that it wasn't going to always be falling off me. So they were right. I probably wasn't going to wear a sari, but I love the fabrics. So when we came back from India, I thought, okay, I didn't buy myself a sari, but I am going to go look now and see if I had bought myself a sari, what would I have bought? And it introduced me to the resale market. You know, through a lot of research, I found out that there are saris available. And it just makes sense, actually, because if you think about it, in Canada, let's say I buy an outfit and I wear it to a wedding and then I wear it to a shower. You know, by about my fourth wear, I'm like, if the pictures are all going to look the same, right? It's that whole Instagram life. You can't wear everything all the time, right? And the same thing happens in India. So here, I might take those clothes and donate them. Well, over there, because these are silk fabrics, they don't really get donated. They get stuck in the back of a closet because saris are one size fits all. And these mothers hope that their daughters or daughters-in-law or grandchildren are going to say, "Oh, Daddy-ma, thank you, can I have that sari?" Well, that's not going to happen. The same way you wouldn't go, into your grandmother's closet here and say, "Oh, Granny, I need to wear your dress." So these things get left behind in closets. And eventually what's happening now is they're getting sold. And so it is possible to get beautiful, gorgeous silk saris that have only been worn 1 or 2 times. And it really fit in with my idea of trying to help save the environment through mindful consumerism.
Yes. Because textiles is a major polluter in the environment. A lot of people don't really know about that.
No.
It pollutes the waters terribly.
It pollutes the waters terribly. And I point that out anytime somebody's wearing black, and I know I'm wearing dark colors, people are wearing dark colors all the time. Black is the worst, but we all wear it, right? And it's because we don't see what's happening at the other end where in some other country, some waterway is getting really polluted.
Mhm.
So what I do with my brand is I rescue these vintage fabrics that have been around for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and you can tell how old some of them are just because you can see the reference to an era, like a very 90s fabric or a very 60s or 70s fabric.
Mhm.
And silk is pretty much indestructible. I think I was telling you earlier that it used to be used for bulletproof vests. In the late 1800s, early 1900s. It was used for parachutes during the war.
Yeah.
It's a really durable fabric.
Those little worms can really make a good silk.
They really do make a good silk. And these little worms made this silk a very long time ago. So,
Yes.
you know, there are some people who have concerns about, ethical concerns about the creation of silk. And I want to assure them that no new worms were killed in the production of this silk.
Yeah.
Because this is all vintage fabric. And then what I did, well, it started out with the name Sari Knot Sari, that we would use the fabric as wrapping paper. And so you would tie knots in it to wrap the gift, and that's where the knot came from in Sari Knot Sari.
Oh, sorry, not
sorry. Yeah, and the whole idea that it is a sari, but it's not a sari. But then I got to thinking, I really do want to wear these fabrics. So I started designing clothes that made sense in my personal fashion journey. I
Yep.
love fabrics.
This does look great on you. by the
Thank
way.
you. This is one of our ponchos. I love fabrics, and I thought, well, I'm tired of growing out of my clothes. And I realized that was part of every woman's journey, that, you know, we buy these clothes and we think, oh, this is going to fit me for, 5-10 years, which is the goal really with clothing, is you don't want to have to buy new clothing every few years for the environment and financially. So I made clothing that relies on drape to look good, so it fits from a size 2 to a size 12 or a size 2 to a size 3X, and allows your body to change underneath it. One of the things that I like to say to my customers is, it's your clothing's job to fit you. It's not your job to fit your clothing.
That's really correct, because the fashion industry has kind of taught us that, you know, you're supposed to try and fit in this like mold, and it's your fault to shape your body to fit in all this stuff, where with the Sari Knot Saris, one size really fits all.
It really does. And it makes life easier too. You know, women have, everyone has a million things to do, but women also have a million things to do. We don't need to be trying to put on nylons and heels and, you know, pants that make your tummy not have enough room to eat your lunch. We have better things to do than that. And so this clothing line was also developed with the idea that you should feel as comfortable as if you're in your pajamas, so that your clothing isn't stopping you from living your best life.
Yes.
It becomes part of living your best life.
You know, I'm always telling my wife, you know, wear what is the most comfortable thing to you.
Yeah.
You know, and she's always like, well, I kind of wear this, it's uncomfortable, and, you know, kind of love it too much, and started throwing you under the bus here. But I'm like, you know, she's like, how does this look? I'm like, is it comfortable? And she's like, not really. I'm like, it looks great, but wear whatever's most comfortable. If you're going to wear it for an hour or 2 or 3, just wear something that's comfortable. And I've understood that, you know, the challenge for women is you got to balance between comfort and fashion.
It's really tough. Like, I remember when I used to wear Spanx, and I'm like, why? I would never in a million years wear something that just, it's like a corset. Why? For whom? I just can't even imagine at this point in my life ever doing something like that again. But I guess, you know, it was part of our journey. But I have 3 daughters, and I like to see them dressed in a way that makes them comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, tidy, you know, polished, but not
and fashionable too.
and fashionable, but not restricted. Why? Like, I just at this age, I cannot wrap my head around why we should have to be restricted by our clothing. It makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. And you know what? I think comfort is an important thing. Us as guys, we get to kind of wear whatever we want, which is double standard. I don't think it's really fair, but I really appreciate you guys are having that kind of one size fits all. And you're right that, you know, over years down the ways that women's bodies change, and having like a durable fabric that people can keep for, you know, how long do people keep their saris for usually? Is it?
Well, like I said, we have saris that are from the 70s, from the 60s. I don't think I've seen one from the 50s yet. But, you know, we're looking at 50, 60 years. The silk, if it's cared for, it lasts forever. And I used to, there's obviously different weaves of silk, just like there's different weaves of cotton, right? Like you can have a t-shirt knit, or you could have a cotton twill, or you know, there's all these different kinds. In silk, there's the same sort of thing, where there's different weaves. So the 2 weaves that I tend to stick with are a sheer georgette,
Okay.
which is a bit of a loopy kind of a weave. So when you pull it, it's got a bit of give. And then the other one that I use is a crepe silk. So this one, a crepe silk is not sheer. It's like this is a crepe silk. You can feel it. It feels like butter.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's really, really soft and very, very durable. There are some silks that you can get that are thinner. They're much more a flat weave, and you'll find that those are the ones that if you try really hard, you can stick your finger through.
Okay.
Because they're just not a high quality weave. They don't use as much silk when they weave it. The ones that I use are really durable.
Yes.
So.
And you had mentioned that there's two different types of silks. You said there's an art silk.
Yeah, so a lot of brands that carry clothing that's made out of saris will say that it's art silk. And art silk is artificial silk. I remember when I learned that as a child, I'm like, ooh, it's even better silk. It's like art silk. Well, art stands for artificial. It's made out of polyester. So polyester is not biodegradable. It is essentially a plastic. There's all kinds of issues in the production of it that don't just go away after production. Like there are issues in the production of any fabric, but at least at some point those fabrics will biodegrade. The polyester, hundreds of years. It's a plastic.
Yeah, and the nice thing is that you guys are just only pure silk, and you guys can kind of tell the difference between the art silk and just the regular ones.
Yes,
right?
and you get a sense of that over time if you feel the hand of it. But also when you add heat to any of those fabrics, the polyesters melt. Like they literally melt with bubbles. Whereas if you try to burn a silk, it smolders like your hair would smolder because it's a natural fiber. So there are ways to tell. But after a while, when you've been around silk long enough, you're like, yeah, that's not real. It has a, polyester has a stickiness to it that silk doesn't have when you rub the fabric together.
Oh, kind of like flats that kind of sticks together.
Yeah, it doesn't glide.
Now, next question is, I know this is the poncho style.
Yes.
I guess what are some of your more popular sari styles, and what do people kind of gravitate to the most usually when they start?
So we make a lot of different styles. Yeah, it is kind of a journey because what ends up happening usually is people come in and they find one style that kind of fits with their idea of what they see other people wearing. And then once they've had some experience of the fabric, they realize that we have 18 different styles, and they kind of decide, oh, you know what, this style looks the best on me, or I really feel comfortable in a front tie top, or ponchos work best with my existing wardrobe. So probably a starter style for most people is something like this. We call them our kimono sleeve dusters. And they can be tied in a lot of different ways, but so this one is a sheer fabric. It's not like totally see-through, but it is a georgette, so it's more sheer than a crepe. And people just wear these over top. A lot of the women don't wear the belt as a belt. They wear it in their hair, or sometimes they wear it as a scarf, or sometimes it sits in a drawer. Our younger clientele really like the belt for definition.
All right.
But yeah, there's a lot of different things you can do with them. Like you can even, because the fabric is so light, you can tie this, and I have to show it to you. It's on our website. But you can tie it as like a front tie top, so that it's more of a top. You can adjust the length by tying knots in it. Just because you're dealing with a real silk, it takes up, like a lot of people get them for travel too, because they weigh next to nothing. And you can fill your whole bag.
Okay, here, give me toss.
Toss it, sure. I think the little paper tag weighs more than the fabric itself.
Yeah, that is much lighter than paper.
Oh, yeah, it's really light.
You ready?
Yeah. Woo. So, yeah, and then we have little tags that explain about our product, and they're actually made out of seeded paper so that they can be planted.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, I know you guys do carry a number of different saris, and everyone, please go on the website for a number of different designs. There's so many different unique designs.
Yeah, so we have boxy, like we have so many styles. We have boxy tops, which are going to come to here. Then the next longer top is the front tie top, which can be worn reversibly. Then we have a side tie top, which comes a little bit lower. Then we get into short caftans, longer caftans, and then we have a whole bunch of dresses as well. So if you go to the website, it kind of describes each one, talks about which body type it fits best. Like this example here is, this is our first season with this cut. We're calling it our cardigan, but this one works really well on everybody. On everybody.
Oh,
yeah, it's just really very, very loose again. Something where the drape is what gives you the shape. Like this would fit you. It fits everybody. It fits the tiniest person, and it fits somebody who's got a little bit more bulk up here, a little heaviness through the bust. It's just a really versatile style. Great for travel and all season. So silk is temperature regulating, so
Yes.
it wicks moisture away.
I think that'd be great for the beach as well.
Oh,
too.
absolutely. So you could wear it as a cover-up. You could wear it in the evening.
So 3, 2, 1, and go.
Hey guys, we're back with Priya here from Sari Knot Sari. All right, and next question.
Yeah.
I know you guys have a lot of beautiful garments that are made from the saris.
Yes.
Are there any more really lovely items in your store that you'd love to chat about?
Yeah, absolutely. So in addition to our own brand, which is the Sari Knot Sari Upcycled Vintage Silk Collection, big long name, we also carry other brands that we believe in. We curate a selection of brands of small businesses that are local.
Mm-hmm.
For example, we carry MetaMade. You've done an interview with MetaMade.
Yes.
Yes.
Morgan, hi.
Yeah. So we carry the MetaMade line. We also carry bracelets made by a local artisan. Her name is Franca Galati.
Mhm.
We have indigenous made candles by a local designer. Actually, she was the first designer in residence at Ryerson School of Fashion.
Oh my.
Her name is Angela de Montaigne, so we carry her candle line.
Mhm.
And we also carry products that are ethically made abroad. Generally, what I try to do is find products that give agency to women. So
Okay.
we have like these bags. Whoops, I'm going to go out of frame for a minute. Like these are made by women in Nepal,
Mhm.
and they are made out of felted wool. So biodegradable, handmade, small batch, women made. So, things like that. If they're in our store, what I like to think is that anything that you buy in our store,
Mhm.
you can feel good that not only did you get a product that, fulfills a need in your life, but through the purchase of that product, you're actually helping someone else as
Yes.
opposed to creating additional problems in our society.
Mhm.
That's one of a really big thing. We also carry a line of socks. It's a Canadian brand called Fazel, F-A-Z-L.
I saw those. They look very
They're
comfortable.
very comfortable. They like to say that they're knitted by happy women in India.
Okay.
And you can go on their website and you will see those happy women. But what I really liked about the brand is it's Canadian owned. So there's a Canadian couple who lives in India in a village where all of the work is done.
Mhm.
They work directly with the artisans, and a portion of their sales goes to support orphans in
Oh my.
their community. And again, if you go on their website, you can actually see the excursions and things that they've been able to take these children on through the proceeds of selling these socks.
Oh my.
So I really do try to bring together a collection of things where I feel like it's not just rampant consumerism. It's not just, I'm going to make some money off of you.
Yeah.
It really is, here's the thing, if you purchase this, you're helping someone.
Yeah.
And if you needed to get a gift for someone, now you've also gotten a gift for someone, and you've also given a gift, in theory, to somebody on the other side of the world. So, and that was just really important to me in my consumerism journey. I don't think it's about stuff. I think it is getting to be less and less about stuff.
Mhm.
I think that it needs to be about personal expression,
Yeah.
which is why we have our one-of-a-kind silk pieces, because, a woman does want to feel beautiful and special, and if you can do that without harming the environment and actually providing jobs for people that are fair and equitable, that's a better way to do it.
Yeah, that's
Right?
something that's unique. That not
Yeah.
everyone has the same shirt at Walmart that they got, or
Exactly.
the same dress at Costco or Amazon or wherever. Right?
Wherever, right. So it allows you to express yourself, and it allows you to do some good at the same time, and that's kind of the philosophy behind our whole store.
That's amazing. We don't often get opportunities to actually do good in the world. They don't often show up in our regular world. Some
Yeah.
people, are heroes and do good all the time.
Yeah.
But it is beautiful that you guys have that opportunity for goodness with any purchase that they make over here.
And additionally, thank you. And additionally, a portion of all of our proceeds goes to Save the Elephants. It's one of my daughter's favorite charities, my youngest daughter.
Mhm.
So a portion of all of our, every dollar we make goes to Save the Elephants to help provide the grazing lands for elephants, and
Mhm.
to help prevent poaching, and to help them with their medical needs.
Oh my. Yeah, elephants are gorgeous animals. We saw them in Thailand.
Oh, wow.
And they are just majestic.
Majestic
Just-
and warm.
Mm.
Like when you look into their eyes, there's something there for sure. Yeah.
Especially when you have their banana. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
give me that.
Yes, I met some elephants when I was in India, and I think that was what really solidified it for me.
Mhm.
And there's actually pictures of it on my website, but I had just never been so close. I mean, I'd been to the zoo, but I'd never been so close to a majestic creature like that.
Yeah, well, it's so free, just hanging around and having a good time.
Yeah, that's it, right? So yeah, that's what we do here.
Well, and you know, once we're talking about you a little bit here, and Priya, if you want to share maybe something about you that maybe most people don't know, or something that'd be fun and interesting.
Yeah, so I was thinking about this because I knew this question was coming. And I think what people might find surprising, and what I know I found surprising for myself, was that I really enjoy designing. Like, I did not think that was part of my career trajectory. I've been a teacher, as you know. I'm a high school teacher. I've taken this year off as an unpaid leave of absence. But I've always felt like, you know, my role was to help support people and bring them up.
Yeah.
I just never realized that was going to be through fashion design. So, and now that I look back, I think, oh yeah, when I was a kid, I used to play with fabrics, and I used to, you know, take my mom's petticoats that are the under part of the sari, and I used to turn them into dresses and layer them in things and express myself with those fabrics.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was a fun thing. I just didn't realize it was going to turn into where my trajectory would land on my journey.
There's something to be very supportive of decisions that are made when you're 5 years old.
It's very true. It's so true, right? Yeah.
Well, next question is, you know, obviously Hamilton's a great city that I love. Tell me something that you love about the city of Hamilton.
I love the city of Hamilton. I have to admit, I live in Burlington, and I didn't know much about Hamilton until about 5 years ago. My best friend is from Hamilton, and she told me about her childhood here, but she lives in Burlington now.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until a friend of mine who worked with me at Greystone, she's like, well, if you're setting up shop, set it up again. If you're setting up again, set up in Hamilton.
Yeah.
And she was the one who recommended James Street North. Shout out to Kim.
Kim.
So yeah, she was so right. Like, I have been overwhelmed by the sense of community in Hamilton. The people here are so, like, I don't want to say grateful, like in a thank you for choosing me kind of a way, but in a like, wow, you chose us, and we're going to support you because you see us. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, when you see Hamilton and a Hamilton community, they appreciate that they're seen. So yeah, I love the community here. Just the network that I've been able to create of people who are inspired to do good and inspire others to do good as well, through whatever route they're taking. It really is, it's humbling. Hamilton is humbling because
it really is.
The kindness of the people.
There's a lot of goodness of the people here. A lot of really, you know, coalescing around local businesses and just lifting people up, and being proud to do so too.
Yeah. You know, there's a mission just down the road, and sometimes, you know, if we have like a staff thing and there's leftover pizza or whatever, I'll walk it down to the mission. And I know last time I did, there was a gentleman sitting by himself on a bench in front of the mission, and I guess he realized that I was carrying a pizza box towards him. And he had no words. He just stood up very, very straight and saluted me until I put the pizza down beside him. And then that's it. And I'm like, who does that? What community creates people who salute me when they have so much trouble and so much going on that they take a moment to appreciate, you know, what you've got to give? I just find all of Hamilton is like that. Like, they can see beyond themselves to what people are sharing and giving to them. Yeah,
definitely a beautiful city. And final question I do have is about your business. Who are some of the people who have been the heroes of your business and who have been integral to your success?
Oh, without question, customers, it's you. Really, you know, this whole venture started with $1 and a dream. It was the idea that, you know, I know women my age, clothing is a big thing. It's how you express yourself. But for women to wrap their heads around the idea that, you know, fabrics might be flawed and that's okay. That, you know, fabrics can drape. It doesn't need to be fitted. For women my age to be able to change their view of fashion and to recognize that their money is actually power to change the world and to step in that direction and to show that they step in that direction by supporting our store. It's a huge leap to make. And not everybody makes those leaps. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I cannot appreciate our customer base enough for wanting to grow, for wanting to change, to want to be part of a change, to be willing to see the world differently and to see the potential in a different kind of a way to look at consumerism.
Well, hey, thank you very much for you know, kind of changing the idea of what fashion is, you know, for women of all ages, and for giving people the opportunity to do good. You know, it's definitely a wonderful thing.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it feels good. Feels right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey everyone, thank you very much for joining us. Once again, Sherman here with Barrington Real Estate, here with Priya from Sari Knot Sari, and everyone, bye for now.
Bye.